Jar of Marble dwellers and Jar of Marble curious. My name is Linda and this is Jar of Marbles. I hope that you've had a fantastic week, another week in the new year of 2023, wherever it is we are at this point. It's just moving again so swiftly and quickly, but the important thing is you're here now and it's really great that you are. I was thinking this week about gas bagging, that term of, having a good old chat, etc. And oh my goodness, don't we all just love a good gas bag, a good chat and silliness and laughing and it just can't help but feel just a little bit on top of the world. A good gas bag, especially appreciated when the proverbial poo has hit the fan and then you have a good laugh with a friend at the absurdity of what we humans do, and when you can find the sweet spot, that kooky part of humour that washes away the grime of life at times, it is there. It'll always be there, but laughing in the face of it is, well, it's just delicious. It feels defiant and most of all, really empowering. I had to have a good think about those moments. That really is just comedy at its best, real life. One day while out at a cafe with a friend, my friend noticed that her coffee didn't taste right. She drinks skim milk and I soy milk. To which she said, "That smells like you." And then I sniffed mine and said, "That definitely smells like you." I don't know, but that just tickled our fancy and we laughed and snorted like a couple of kids and thoroughly enjoyed our coffee. Now, what are the 4 types of friendships, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. Friendship is categorised into 4 types: acquaintance, friend, close friend and best friend. Over time, an increase in mutual respect and the degree of reciprocity, I'll try that again, reciprocity builds up and strengthens friendship, otherwise known as the 4 C's. The 4 factors that are most effective in initial verbal contacts are confidence, creativity, caring and consideration. The 4 C's sounds like seas as in oceans.
Oh, I love the ocean.
That's nice, Bob. Me too.
Are there more than 4 C's?
Well, in general, a sea is defined as a portion of the ocean that is partly surrounded by land. Given that definition, there are about 50 seas around the world.
Oh, I'm so glad I asked.
And so am I, Bob, as am I. It is tremendously wonderful to have someone to bounce ideas off, to discuss concerns in a way that is private and the hope and belief that it won't go any further. But best of all, to be able to laugh and be silly, to pretend to be mean girls, laugh at your own woes or in spite of them in the face of great darkness. Still have a giggle. That laughter and carry on when you open your mouth wider than normal, and it is a laugh that you can't push back or muffle. The liberation and freedom and the clearing out of annoyances or frustration just seems to be immediate. You run the risk of a good laugh setting the tone of your day. It's marvellous stuff, a magic elixir, if you will. It can become addictive. It is so nice to know someone that you can have laughs with, choose to have laughs with. It feels like a tremendous gift. It is rejuvenating and boy, does it not put things in perspective.
But does it?
Well, listen here, Bob, you're not even real, but yes, it sure does. I don't mind admitting that I do laugh at myself, at my own antics. Those funny moments where you look back days later, weeks later, and you still giggle. The bottom line about something silly, the stuff you wouldn't normally tell anyone, the stuff that gives the gift of being beautifully, wonderfully human and not feel that you have to hold back. In fact, the business of holding back never enters my head mostly. The details, and then to heartily laugh at it, it gives others freedom and space to be themselves and to relax, to have a gas bag and good laughs. I need that. I need to totally be myself, and that can be thoughtful and quiet, but mostly I love gas bagging and being a bit silly, for the end result is laughter. I mean, we all need that. You need that. It's just, I feel like a really important component to finding balance in your life.
How many muscles does it take to smile and laugh?
I love your questions, Bob. Well, Bob, about 43 muscles in a face, and that's if you're creating a smile at any given moment. It is proven by a Dr. Ekman's research. It's a tool called FACS, or facial acting facial action coding system.
All right then, so how many muscles does it take to kiss?
Kissing can involve a variety of different facial muscles, Bob, with the orbicularis oris being the main skeletal muscle involved. Simple kisses use as few as 2 muscles and burn only 2 to 3 calories, whereas passionate kissing can involve as many as 23 to 34 facial muscles and 112 postural muscles. No details could be found about the calorie burnage, but I'd imagine that it would be quite impressive.
I cannot tell you how glad I am I asked.
Anywho, gasbagging, one might call it gossiping, and maybe some of it is technically. But how patriarchy redefined gossip to be a woman's thing. So, studies back in May of 2021 have shown that both men and women gossip equally. Who knew? On average, a person spends 52 minutes in gossiping, irrespective of gender and sex. And I've got to say that I do not find this even remotely surprising at all.
What part?
Well, men and women equally. It's a human thing. I hear the word patriarchy and the hairies on the back of my neck stand up. It's got so old, and who cares? Hence, why I like the term gasbagging as opposed to gossiping, because we actually do a lot more than that. Gossiping, first and foremost, becomes a way for people to connect, even if it's at the expense of others. Sharing stories and information bonds us, giving them some common interests and knowledge. It's a way to feel part of the group, to be noticed and heard, and to feel important. And I don't mean nasty gossip, I just mean, lightweight conversations. Gasbagging is helpful when, say, you've hit a wall and you don't know what to do or say, what is appropriate, and a good friend can give you words, lend their confidence, to you when you just can't find it in yourself. To be reminded of who you are in a sad moment, or as in, maybe a series of horrid experiences, maybe the electronics stop working, the washing machine or your coffee machine, stuff on top of stuff. Sometimes a solution cannot be found, like a real solution, but you can, at the very least, go back to Go, collect your $200, have a giggle at nonsensical things, which is lighthearted and not remotely heavy. That easiness can help a solution seem more possible. Keeping it light means you don't have to plough into each other's choices and one of you is better than the other. Hence, why having giggles keeps things in perspective. It is near impossible to feel down if you are having a laughter session.
I don't always get your humour.
Never mind, Bob. And let's face it, let's be honest, I do like a nice coat of lipstick to do my gasbagging. It's a part of my practice. It's me. I'm a little bit femme, I even have lipstick on to do my gardening. I've actually got a mirror compact and a lipstick under a rock in the garden. Should I forget? It is not for the moisturising effects, although that is nice. I just love lipstick. And when I was a little girl, I called it lick stick. Old fizzy caps from fizzy drink bottles I used to push into the bottoms of my bare feet, into my heels, so they would click-clack on the hearth of the fireplace. But I digress.
Lipstick in the garden?
That's right, Bob.
But why?
Because I can, Bob. Because I can. So, one of the easiest things I can do to make myself feel better is a coat of lipstick. And it's just such a minimal effort thing to do, but it really helps my mood. It's like I'm asking my inner child, Linda, would you like a coat of lipstick? It's a little self-care moment, something you might do that too. You might have something that you do that just makes you feel better. I had a look at the meaning of gasbagging in the free dictionary and I was horrified, and then I just laughed my head off. Noun, gasbag. A boring person who talks a great deal about uninteresting topics. Windbag, bore, dullard. A person who evokes boredom. A person who evokes boredom. I love it. And it can be a bag that holds gas, full of wind, so to speak. When you're in a good gas bag session, when it feels light, it feels fresh, the breath of fresh air, so to speak. Conversations and company that constitutes refreshing change. A breath of fresh air is a welcome change from the current situation. And that is what gas bagging does. Like, friendship is so weird, isn't it? You choose someone to do stuff with, and then that's that. That's your buddy. And now, like for me, my buddy I go to the gym with most mornings, and I met her actually in a car park some 8 years ago. We were both going to the same gym, but they just decided to close it for no reason, no warning, at the same gym that we were going to, and they just closed it. And we were both a bit miffed, so we decided to go and have a coffee together. Now, it's not often you meet someone who you will, with ease, just go and have a coffee with a stranger. Turns out that we were both a little bit weird like that. So obviously, she had a great vibe and really nice, and found out that we had interesting things in common, and that was that. So looking back, we were both a little off-centre with our individual life experiences, some of which were very similar, and it was so refreshing to meet someone who I felt comfortable with, and clearly, so did she, and a professional gas bagger to boot.
A professional? What do you mean?
Well, Bob, it's just, someone that you're happy just to make it up as you go.
Oh.
So it's like being in a really small gang. I mean, it really does feel like that. And you know what else, Marble Dwellers? You get to step out of your head. By being silly, animated and imaginative, it kind of sets you free. God knows life is filled with challenges, deadlines, self-doubts and fears. So most definitely I would say I consider gas babbing. I'm all about a good gas bab. I would say that gas bagging is one of my mental health tools and is most definitely a coping mechanism. We all go through tough times, and if allowed to go on for too long, it'll take its It'll take its toll, and that is not cool. We know that we will always come out the other side, and if we can do it with a few laughs, it strikes a balance, and it is something, to hold on to. Don't you think? Don't you think? Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Thank you. And because sometimes the gas bag will involve the discussion of your challenges and require air to be breathed into them, so they're not swimming around in your head like a mental Olympian. And as said by an unknown artist, friends will come and go like the waves of the ocean, but the true ones stay like an octopus on your face. Ah, yes, it makes for quite the visual.
Do octopuses bite?
The bite of a giant Pacific octopus, Bob, will not only hurt, but it also injects venom into the target.
Oh.
Now, like a conversation I was having with a friend who had a bit of a hacking cough, but she was a bit gassy as well. So every time she coughed, she would crack a fart. Now, that's okay if the synchronization of said cough matches fart, but when it comes after the cough, it sort of sounds like a loud full stop, doesn't it? Man, these are the things that really crack me up. And you in life, things are not as scary when you've got a friend, and as I have believed for so long, a good laugh just puts everything in perspective. And in essence, as you have all these little fun, odd gatherings, meetings, gas bag sessions, you are in fact writing memories. You can talk for ages about nothing, and I think that's good for the brain. Just to step away from gnawing concerns and worries, just to step away and give that brain of yours a rest. And the other cool thing when you are in company of people or a person who knows you, they can tell by the look on your face that can either be a good thing or a bad thing. Kind of read you and go, are you doing okay there? We can go to a local cafe and they make really nice coffee. So that is our reward after our workout early in the morning. One morning, we noticed that our coffee lids stunk. Yes, you heard right. The lids were a bit stinky, like wet mould, and quite strong. So we started taking to sniffing our lids before we'd use the lid to sip. Or, we'd have to take the lid off. So the giggling would start. Here we are, grown women in a cafe, sniffing our lids while they sat on the tables. Now, one day it would be just one of our lids, and the other morning it would be both. My friend smelt mine, as it always seemed to be mine, that was extra stinky. She said, I smelt yours, so you've got to smell mine. And off we'd go again, laughing. It's all imagination and the willingness to play.
Stinky lids.
That's right. I think wherever they store their lids, it's like mouldy and very damp and very stinky. So we call it the Stinky Lid Cafe. Fitting, I thought. We generally both have busy days ahead, so I guess Big pardon. So I guess I'm saying that we are completely in the moment, having a giggle and not giving the rest of the day any energy or worry. And how often do we start our day with our smiles upside down and filled with dread, and we haven't even started the morning? Anywho, I realise the value of accountability to get to the gym, have a great resistance and cardio workout, and then coffee with a side of giggles. Yes, queenagers and queens, yes! And in my moments of reflection, these two things, accountability and laughter, I realise is a promise that you are making to yourself about showing up tomorrow, that no one else has the right to take away your peace, just as you don't have the right to give it away. That self-care and self-respect thing has to be a major factor in your humanness, where you understand and respect that you have to look after yourself in order to give. Life as a card game will shoot out some unforgiving combinations at times, right? With those you care about having health issues, white goods breaking down in the house, phones falling in toilets, it can feel like everything is against you. Your own health too, possibly, but I have truly come to realise if I do not put my well-being right up front, distinctly way past everyone else's needs, then I'm the one that's going to fall into a pile. No more queen ages. I must have my own time. Otherwise, I'm running a race that appears to never end. To have the laughs, to praise ourselves for being good all-round heroes of the universe. I mean, really, we do. Olympians and athletes of extraordinary strength. No, we really do. Yes, lighten up there, buttercup. We do not take ourselves seriously, so we get to laugh at the ridiculousness of it all, and it makes us laugh. But we do take our physical well-being seriously, which then runs into our mental health, and the payoffs for that is beyond fabulous, especially when you are saying that you are Olympians of the universe. We are kind of anything but there lies the gas bag element. I have always loved the absurd, the opposite, the ridiculous. It is so liberating and freeing. No one laughs harder at my own antics than me. Laughing swaps out the cortisol in our bloodstream with highly sought-after chemicals in the brain with dopamine, oxytocin and endorphins. Dopamine can enhance learning, motivation and attention. Laughter stimulates the release of endorphins, the body's feel-good hormones and natural painkillers. It has a natural antidepressant effect. Laughter also increases serotonin production in the body. Serotonin is one of the body's most powerful antidepressants. We are walking chemists. Incredible. And I'm just so in awe of the body. And as you know, cortisol, the primary stress hormone, increases sugars, glucose, in the bloodstream, which enhances your brain's use of glucose and increases availability of substances that repair tissues. I often think the support of science is helpful in understanding how these natural antidepressants and the feel-good hormones function in our bodies. You know yourself how good you feel, how relaxed you become when you laugh. That's one of the reasons I watch and I enjoy comedies, and sometimes on purpose. I will convert files and listen to them while I drive and have a giggle on my way. I'll do this if I'm feeling a bit flat and I know I have a bit to get through in terms of tasks in my day. So uplifting my mood really sets the tone. I really do rely on me, and I'm sure you do too, and have your own things that help you. I share my experiences with the hope that it will, inspire you along the way, not make you feel so alone. If you're feeling a bit stuck, I just say, help's on the way. Simple things really do help instigate change, and done often, it becomes your new normal. But how do you reduce cortisol in your body? Being stressed often will up your cortisol levels. And here are a few ways that you can reduce cortisol. You could eat whole food, plant-based diets, like cut back. If you're eating a lot of meat, cut back. If needed, add supplements, take deep breaths, reduce your caffeine intake. I do enjoy a coffee, but if you're having lots and lots in the day, maybe, just take it back a little bit. Make sure you're getting, sleep. Exercise regularly, or, go walking. Write in a journal. Like, that one is a real stickler for a lot of people, because if they've never really, taken any notice of writing a journal or feeling like it has any value. It's one of those things when you start doing it and you start doing a little bit of goal setting, or you start making notes of maybe some, sad thoughts you might have had that day, or what goals you're going to, achieve the next day. And it can be something as simple as drinking more water, doing a little bit more of the things that actually help you. Another one is indulging in hobbies. Everything seems to circle back to self-care though, doesn't it? It turns out that you are the magic pill. Through making choices that benefit and inspire, it doesn't take much time for the body to start thanking you. And the first thing you'll feel is you just feel good. I love that. I'm a bit keen on that feeling. And the second thing that happens is you strive to feel that good again. It is addictive, and chasing it is done with ease because it is so readily available. When you sign up to be your own best friend, boy, things can sort of really turn around quite quickly. And I do think that it is really important to say that if you don't show up for yourself, say the next day, just, take it easy on yourself. It does take time to make changes, especially if this is the first time that you're actually considering to truly do what's right for you, or even if it's the 100th time. Who's counting? But just keep going. Welcome aboard, Marble Dweller. You'll always get lots of support here, and I'm always happy to hear what you're doing and what changes you're implementing. Just baby steps, bit by bit. They're the best ones, nice and easy. And I am also aware that others who may be too shy to leave a comment will read others' comments. And I know that these can be so inspiring to others. They're really inspiring to me too. We can be inspiring others and just be totally unaware. Just a quick little story. I remember once I was waiting to order a coffee. I was on a work break, so I was standing in line. Everyone's giving their name, and I was feeling a bit cheeky this morning. So I said my name was Superwoman. The person who took my order did not bat an eyelid. I was most impressed. So over to the other side I sat and waited for my name to be called. Meanwhile, as I sat waiting, I kind of forgot that I'd given a fake name. I was just about to go up and inquire where my coffee was when I heard an exasperated server yell, "Superwoman!" And I realised that she'd called Superwoman a few times. So I went up and grabbed my coffee. By this stage, I hadn't realised that everyone was waiting to see what Superwoman looked like. So the upside was everyone kind of giggled, and I left being dutifully nodded to by, the other people standing around in this busy cafe. So, of course, I had to go off and do my Superwoman activities. So, look, many of us have these wee stories, that I'm recalling, and they just feel good situations. And I've noticed it simply brings out the best in people. And while we're having a giggle, and sometimes with strangers, it is the stuff that encourages us forward. Well, Marble Dwellers, it does seem to be that time again. I want to thank you so much for popping by. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast, the subject being gas bagging and stinky lids. And it's always food for thought and something to think about, or not, or just relax and just let it all, flow through you. But as always, as I say, thank you very much for coming by, and I look forward to seeing you again. And say good day to the family for me and your pet mouse, and I'll see you again.